Welcome to Political Talk Show with Rachel, Brittany, and Katrina Bardoswich,
where we will have guest star JFK.
Today we are here in Boston, which is the home of President Kennedy. We'll be interviewing him on his views and beliefs about the Cold War.
We hope you can take much away from this interview, learning from the Russian and American perspective.
Hello, Mr. President. How are you today?
Good. Thank you for having me on Political Talk.
Let us first look at the role of President Kennedy before he came to office.
Born in the heart of Brooklyn and raised in the seas of Cape Cod, Kennedy served in the U.S. Navy during World War II. He graduated from Harvard University in 1948, then got a law degree from University of Virginia Law School in 1951. And in 1960, he was elected as the youngest president of the United States.
Today, May 4th, 1963, we will start off talking about the space race. Rumor has it...
Oh, sorry, my phone went off.
It's okay, it's okay. Rumor has it, it was because you secretly wanted to beat the Soviet Union into the space exploration. Why did you support the Apollo missions?
Well, the reason I threw my support behind the Apollo mission was partially to be one of the first countries into space. What a great honor it would be for America, the land of opportunity, to expand the horizons into space and the world beyond.
Do you actually think we can get a man on the moon?
It is a goal of mine to not only get a man on the moon, but for him to return home safely. Right now, NASA is working on new technologies in order to do so. They're working extremely hard and already have sent 3 astronauts into space to orbit the moon. So I think very soon we will have the capabilities to get an American astronaut on the moon and have him return home safely.
Now let us turn to domestic policy. The NSC, or the National Security Council, was created by President Truman. When you came into office, you decided to reduce the number of people involved with the project. With the threat of Russian communism, why would you want to dismantle a system of national security for the U.S.?
I decided to reduce the number of staff from 74 to 49 people because I wanted to make sure that the NSC consisted of people that I could trust and rely on. Truman wanted to unite all the nations together, but I didn't want a large separate organization filled with people from different countries. I believe that the issue of the U.S. national security should be dealt with solely by Americans, and I didn't want to have conflicting views and beliefs. Therefore, I let go of the foreign staff and only kept the Americans involved with the project.
It is getting hot in here. It is very cold in my country. It is very hot here.
Yeah, it's getting hot in here.
In my country, we have many possessions of nuclear weapons. What is your stance on nuclear weapons?
Personally, I don't believe in countries having nuclear weapons, and I think it will only cause conflict. Looking at the world and the problems we have on our hands now, we must figure out a diplomatic way to deal with this buildup of nuclear weapons. I believe that countries that already have or are already building nuclear weapons should only have limited amounts in order for self-defense. Nations that do not already have nuclear weapons should not start building up their military supplies.
But we know about Israel having much pressure to keep their weapons in secret. What do you have to say about that?
As I stated before, this buildup of weapons must stop. I have signed a treaty on the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons in order to limit countries from doing so. Israel refused to sign this treaty because they disagreed on the amount of weapons that they could have access to. Because of that, they have no right to attack peaceful countries who have agreed to this treaty with their nuclear weapons. Right now, I think all countries should work together to stop a nuclear arms race war from happening.
Speaking of international community, what are your views on Cuba and the Russian aid of building up their nuclear weapons?
The U.S. for a long time has been on friendly terms with Cuba. We export and trade many things from them, and we had a good alliance with General Batista. When Fidel Castro took over, things changed. He tried to annihilate the U.S. influence in Cuba, and since then we have set a trade embargo on the importation of sugar. This new leader, Castro, has made it no secret that he has a strong alliance with the Soviet Union, who are aiding them in building nuclear weapons. The U.S. in no way can be a supporter of communist efforts that we must make sure we keep our capitalist presence over Cuba.
As most of you know, the Bay of Pigs was a major failed attempt on the U.S. to stop this buildup. What were your feelings on the plan and its overall outcome?
Well, any president has to be skeptical about undergoing a military operation where lives are on the line. It is very important to me that during the implementation of the plan, the U.S. was not making itself a direct threat to Russia and Cuba. In the end, the plan was not operated correctly, and 114 men were killed and 1,100 were taken prisoner. We are all working in order to get the prisoners safely home to the U.S., while at the same time showing Cuba that we do not support their communist ideals and government.
What do you hope to accomplish in regard to the Cold War at the end of your term, and possibly your second?
We must present to the world a concept of freedom which we have not been deluded by the evils of prejudice and discrimination. As Woodrow Wilson once said in an address on citizenship, the amount of dwelling upon the ideas of liberty and of justice will accomplish the object we have in our view unless we ourselves illustrate the idea of justice and liberty.
Thank you for your time.
Join us next time on Political Talk with Rachel Brittany and Katarina Bartoswish.
Bye.
Are we going? Go.
Oh, I see another one.
It's okay. I just hide the other one. But that would look suspicious. What is the Russian doing with one hat? Such a sweet innocent girl. No more. She's revealed. Becca revealed.
No.
Hello, Mr. President. How are you today?
Hello, Mr. President. How are you today?
Mr. President, you should compose yourself.
Please put yourself together. This is a very serious interview.
Okay.
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 You're like a little schoolgirl. Oh, wait.
Wow!
We are one.
We are one.
Alright, anyways. Are you calm?
No.
Okay.
I am so hot. You have no idea.
I have no idea how hot you are.
Hello, Mr. President. How are you today?
Good, how are you? Wait, that's not the right line.
I'm good. You don't care how you are.
Yeah, you go back on and then we took it off and then we're all like, ooh, fluffy jacket. Okay. He's like half Southern, half busted.
Okay.
Like, yeehaw, down Howard.
Tonight on Inside Edition of Courtney Sparrow's life, what she does with her clothes.
I don't know, put my clothes on.
There you go.
Thank you for your time.
I am your president.
She will banish you from the country. No, say it nicely.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you
What
for
are you
your time.
saying?
Because it's not my line, you said.
Okay.
I will smack Russian.
Okay.
You're creative. Thank you for your time.
Join us next time on Political Talk with Rachel Brittany and Katarina Bartoswish.